What is up, world? It's your boy Ton, and you are listening to the Wonton Wealth Podcast. Here, I'm going to unravel anything and everything commercial real estate related. And more importantly, we're going to add abundant value. So if you're ready, buckle up your eardrums. One of my all-time favorite quotes is by Michael Scott, and it goes like this. Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy. Both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. And if you guys don't know who Michael Scott is, he is the main character from a sitcom called The Office. Once again, if you haven't watched it, your homework assignment is to go watch it. And you can thank me later or thank me now, whichever. But today, we're going to be talking about office spaces. Just with the recent COVID era that hit us, offices were probably the most hard hit out of all of the commercial asset classes. They got slapped in the face and shit on. Vacancies were just insanely high. Businesses did all their work from home. All their employees were doing their work from home. And the office landlords pretty much went into foreclosure. And, you saw just a flood of them hit the market, right? For crazy cap rates, just low dollar amounts, definitely lower than what the landlords or the owners purchased the properties at. Those were definitely some dark days. And now, as of this recording, we're seeing a little bit of a nice hybrid between in-person work at the office space and work from home. Like, for example, my brother historically worked from home for all 5 days from Monday through Friday. After the COVID era hit, he was going into work 1 or 2 days per week. So that hybrid is definitely playing out. And we're seeing a lot of that in the suburbs. So I think that suburban offices are going to be a really nice play in the future. I think they're going to come back pretty heavily. But let's talk about office spaces. So what exactly are office spaces? And like I said, if you've seen The Office, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I'd like for you to imagine just a room with vanilla walls, maybe some pictures hanging up for decor. You got desks, computers, printers, furnishings, and then outside of that room, you might have some conference rooms and just an all-out business-y vibe. People are in professional attire. You got dudes in ties, chicks in the what is it, the blazers, and they're just running around crazy like they're like chickens with their heads cut off. And the unique thing about offices is that you can find them pretty much anywhere. They're in residential homes, they're in apartments, and mainly your big commercial buildings that are designed strictly for offices. But the cool thing is they're also in urban and suburban areas. When we're looking at a size perspective, individual offices are probably just a few hundred square feet or so, up to maybe 1,000. And it can go all the way up to those big commercial buildings, like I mentioned, that are just strictly office spaces. And those are, in the tens to hundreds of thousands of square feet and usually used by corporations with a ton of employees. Office spaces are dedicated areas for businesses to complete and do their administrative work. The main factor with them is that they provide a professional setting that separates work from personal life. But that's not it. That's just your generic office space. You also have medical office spaces. This is where doctors, medical practitioners find space to see their patients. They, in the counseling room or the exam room, you're going to find just, one bed, medical bed, if you will, maybe a couple chairs, and then the doctor's supplies and whatnot. But overall, you're going to find spacious layouts. You're going to find advanced tech, which are expensive as shit, natural lighting, and hopefully a calming color scheme. And, no one likes going to the doctor's office. So designers for these office spaces, their goal is to make the waiting area as well as the whole feel of the medical office space as inviting as possible. You don't want a clinical feel. You want a place where you can feel relaxed and know that you're going to get the best care possible. Another piece of office spaces is co-working spaces. So this has been on the rise pretty heavily over the last couple of years or so. Co-working spaces provide a flexible and collaborative work environment. They typically cater to freelancers, startups, or remote workers who are looking for a professional and adaptable workspace. They're not The decor is going to be different. They're going to be a little bit more modern. They're not dry. They're more than just shared work areas. They're trying to foster innovation and collaboration. You're going to have really cool decor. You're going to have a lot of amenities. For example, we have a couple co-working spaces here in Cincinnati, and I've only been to one or two of them, but they have a bar within the co-working space. And the operators of the co-working business rent a certain area of a building and run their co-working businesses from there. It's kind of a sublease, if you will. So you got a shit ton of coffee in there that they make every day. They got snacks, but you got separate conference rooms that you can book. You got communal areas and just a ton of space that you can rent out and kind of do your own thing. And it's kind of cool because you see a lot of people moving about just like a regular office, but these are remote professionals, and it kind of gets you in the groove of wanting to be productive as well. These co-working spaces, they're really neat. They offer you membership packages. I don't know if they have a la carte where you can rent for a day. They probably do. You could probably rent some space for a day for, I don't know, $50 or so. But general memberships are a couple $100 a month, and I'm pretty sure they have tiers in their system to where they give you certain amenities on the higher tiers. Maybe they give you X amount of hours for conference rooms each month. But very cool places. If you guys want to check co-working spaces out, the best example that I have for you here in Cincinnati is by Fueled Collective. They got amazing pictures online, so go check that out. And there you have it. So that's the main overview of office spaces, which is where you get shit done. And to once again quote the great Michael Scott, that's what she said. And that's a wrap. If you've made it this far, that means you've listened to the entire episode, so thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening from. And if you've learned something or found it useful, share it with one of your homies. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm pretty active on IG. My handle is pro_TANH. Reach out, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, or what you want to hear about in the future. I'm here to tailor this to you. Until next time.